Hello, ladies and a few good men. This is Anna Laura Brown, host of the Autoimmune Rehab Podcast, where, as always, you can find and download show notes and other episodes online at autoimmunerehab.com or under Autoimmune Rehab on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. And today's episode is sponsored by my free 30-day self-care journal download that you can access by going to annalaurabrown.com/self-care. Now, with no further ado, let's get started talking about today's topic, which is about how to balance mind, body, and spirit. And along with that, how to manage stress and engage some mind and body and spirit techniques for relief from an autoimmune condition. So, if you have listened to me for any given length of time or listened to other experts, or if you've been on this autoimmune healing journey for a while, you probably are aware that one of the main reasons why a lot of us get autoimmune conditions and or why we don't maintain them or why we end up having a big, they call autoimmune flare, is because we are under a lot of stress and we aren't maintaining that balance between our body, mind, and spirit. And so in today's episode, this is going to be, again, a shorter little solo episode, but hopefully you'll still find this information helpful. I am going to talk with you a little bit about some strategies and techniques that you can use to balance your mind, body, and spirit to help you have less stress. So the first technique is yoga. And I have an interview with somebody that I did talking about yoga for autoimmune healing. I'm definitely not a yoga expert. However, I do go to yoga on a fairly regular basis, usually at the gym, and I really do find that that really does help. But yoga in general is a really good way to help balance your mind, body, and spirit, to help relieve stress, to help you engage in stretching exercises. You aren't going to burn as many calories from yoga as you will from other kinds of exercise, but it is a really good technique to use. And I will include the link to the yoga episode that I did on yoga for autoimmune healing in the show notes for you to go check that out if you haven't already listened to it. It's a little bit of an older episode. It was one of the first, I believe, 10 episodes that I did. And it has some really good things in there for you to think about. So yoga is a really good technique for helping to manage stress, balance your mind, body, and spirit. Another thing that you can use is essential oils, and essential oils are really good for this. Some of the better ones would be things like lavender, Roman chamomile, marjoram. Some people even like to use patchouli. I like to use a specific blend from doTERRA called Balance, which is also known as a grounding blend. But at the end of the day, you can really use any kind of essential oils that you really feel help to maintain that sense of balance and grounding, to help with your mind, body, spirit. I like to use them in the sense of stress relief by using them primarily topically, but maybe a little bit in a diffuser with a little bit of water, aromatically as well. I find that by diffusing them, a lot of times that can change a little bit of the environment that I am in. But the other way you can use it is to just smell from the bottle, just inhale, put a little bit underneath your nose, a little bit on your wrists, maybe on your feet, or combine the use of essential oils with meditation, which is the next thing on my list here for maintaining a good balance of mind, body, and spirit. Is you can just kind of either diffuse the essential oils in the room at the same time that you were doing a meditation, or you can just, like I said, inhale them, put them on you right before you do meditation, and then just sit there in the quiet and still. And there are a couple different ways to do meditations. One way is to just sit there in the quiet. And if you're watching me on video, you'll see me doing this now, where I just kind of close my eyes, and you can just kind of sit there and be still in the quiet. You can keep your eyes closed, and you can just do deep breathing exercises will work as well. I have a couple different episodes on this podcast where I have had guests that have walked me and the rest of you through some different breathing exercises. You can do that for meditation. There are also different apps that you can use, like Insight Timer is a really good one that has meditation. I also have what's called a Morphe device that I got on Amazon that I will link to in the show notes here. And it has different settings for different kinds of meditations, where it's basically more of a guided meditation, and you just sit there and you listen to the person who is giving you that meditation, and you try to imagine in your mind the different actions, the different things. Like, for example, There is one that I've used quite a bit where they take you on a journey up into an airplane and have you imagine that you're soaring over the top, and then eventually it gets time for you to jump out of the airplane and do, like a form of skydiving and then land softly as a feather. Then it has some other things like that, like having you wander around, notice what is in the nature, that kind of thing. There are also meditations out there that have you just sit there and listen to birds chirping or rivers running or different other aspects of nature. So, in other words, there's lots of different ways to do meditation. And I do usually about once a month. It depends. For the month of December, I am not actually doing one, but I will have another one that I will be doing during the month of January, where I have you combine a meditation exercise with the next aspects of journaling and essential oils. And I walk you through over Zoom, and we do that as a class as part of my meetup group, which I will include linked below so that you can find out when the next one's going to be. And you just, engage in that meditation practice. And I like to do it either first thing in the morning or later at night, but you also could do it during the middle of the day. Like if you're having an extra stressful situation and feel like you need to take a break and relieve that anxiety and that stress, then meditation can work really good even in the middle of the day. Then journaling is another one. And I have like I said, I do the classes with this. And what for journaling, you can just open up a notebook and paper and just start writing things down. But what I typically like to do with journaling is to have some different questions related to, like your goals or to things that you would like to change in the future, habits that you would like to implement, dreams, wishes, different aspects of your life that maybe aren't going the way you'd hoped, and to journal about why, different things like that. And I have a blog post that I wrote pretty recently all about questions to journal about to help with stress and self-care, and I can include the link to that in the show notes as well. But you want to combine these things, and I find that you can achieve a pretty good balance of your mind, body, and spirit by doing a combination of these things on a regular basis. So the yoga, the essential oils, the meditation, the journaling. And then I also find getting regular massages can really help as well. I personally go to a massage school in order to save money, and I go about once a month. Find that really helps. And then acupuncture can also help with balancing the mind, body, and spirit, in addition to providing some healing relief from all different kinds of things. You can use it to heal from pain. You can use it to help reduce stress. You can use it with PMS and cramping, which is what I've used it for. You can use it for allergies, all different kinds of things that you can use acupuncture for. And so at the end of the day, there are a lot of different ways that you can manage your stress and use these mind-body techniques for your autoimmune relief. But the main secret is just to find what routine of this that works for you and then stick to it. Another thing you can also use is like a stress ball. So you can just take a stress ball and have it. I have a couple different ones, or I've even used a fidget spinner as well to get some relief, or just even going outside for a walk can also help as well. But the reality is that you just want to develop these routines and these habits to help you with balancing your mind, body, and spirit. And you will find over time that these things will really help you in your quest to heal from an autoimmune condition and attain autoimmune relief. So I hope that you found some of these hints and tips helpful. If you would like to touch base with me, you will find information on how to do that in the show notes. Take care, and I look forward to sharing with you soon on another episode of Autoimmune Rehab.